to the second day of this little video series of 7 days in total for me to look after your back, enabled by Liebscher in Bracht in Germany and initiated by the book launch that's about to happen in Germany. They're doing a 7-day looking after your back video series in German, and I will post the video below. If you don't speak German by any chance, I'm gonna just like downsize it to the exercises and just telling you just a tiny little bit about L&B. Yeah, the method. So the method has 3 components. The first component is like an osteopressure massage. So it's like pushing pressure points, like I push pressure points. They are on bone, so it's called osteopressure, which is not very often done, and it's highly effective. The second part would be bottleneck stretches, like the restrictive areas that you don't usually stretch into. And that's what I'm going to show you today, the second part. We had one video yesterday where I showed you the first exercise, and this is the second one. So bear with me. So we start by, so yesterday we stretched the front, this time we stretch the back. And this is a very, very common exercise in yoga, and it's often done ever so slightly wrong. Or let's say, let's tune it a little bit so you understand what you want to feel, where you want to feel it. So we start by our feet being hip distance apart, and the outside of our feet, the edge of our feet, being parallel to the outside of your mat, or if you imagine a crowd line, being in line with a crowd line. So that brings your knees in a little bit. So you need to readjust your knees back so that they can track over the second toe forwards, which kind of like engages your legs. You might feel it even into your glutes. So this is a forward bend. So I could show you how lovely I bend forwards, but I just pretend I'm not quite so flexible. So we start off by leaning forwards. And there will be a point where the back of your legs, all the back, doesn't let you go any further. Let's just say it's here. And let's just say I feel it strongly behind my knees. So what you can do is soften your knees a little bit to go a little bit further. But what is really kind of like quite important is to arch your back. So rather than going more and more in like this, which would stretch up there, you're trying to work from your pelvis, from your hips. So turning your tailbone under, lifting your tailbone up, lifting, till you kind of like can't go any further. Then you soften the knees a little and still try to go higher with your tailbone. Let's say this is it. You can't go any further and you're completely stretched everywhere. Then you can let your head go down. And you can either put some blocks underneath or some piles of books, and you can just hang there and hold that for a minimum of 2 minutes. So if you're, and you just ease back out again. So the most important thing, to repeat again, your tailbone goes back. It's not so important that your legs are all straight. That might come. So soft legs, tailbone to the ceiling, arching your back forward as much as you can. Like lifting your sitting bones out to the side. And then if there's no more to go, that's when you round. So from there, and you can be here, you can be like higher than that, you then try to not straighten your legs, but try to turn your tailbone even higher. Lift your lower rib cage forward. And also feel your feet on that floor and imagine they pull out ever so slightly, because you get so much more stretch when you do that. So we look for a little bit of a resistance, like pulling the legs out, keeping the knees straight, engaging the muscle before we stretch it. So we kind of like make it hard for us to go there. So it's not kind of like a falling forward. It's very much building resistance and moving into that resistance, which is a much more joint-friendly way to stretch. And we hold the stretch. If you can do 2 minutes, that's great. If you can do longer, that's better. If you can't do 2 minutes, you're too deep in the stretch. There should be no biting pain there, like a ripping sensation. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking still for an expansion, but we really want to push ourselves into that expansion. So when you think about it, can I hold this breath? Or can I still breathe? Or does it make me hold the breath in this effort to get my hands towards the floor? We always look for a stretch that's accompanied by breathing. That's really kind of like the bottom line. There's so many different people looking at this video, and some people will go like, oh, no pain, no gain, and some people will just like not try very hard. We need to kind of like have a mixture out of both. We try hard, but we let our breath flow, and we stay with a sense of expansion in that stretch for a minimum of 2 minutes. Give that a shot. Give me a little thumbs up at the bottom, a little like, and share it, please. And tomorrow we'll continue with another little bite-sized stretch that you can add on to the first one. Thank you very much for listening.